We're going to go a little old school this morning. And even though Jim couldn't be with us, we're going to do a song that I think everybody here has probably heard multiple times. It's Amazing Grace. And when I first got a call Friday from Holly, my wife, Jim's daughter, she said that Jim had fallen ill with something and we don't know if he's going to make it. So we wake up in the morning and we often wonder, God, what do you have planned for us? What do you have in store for us? We would never expect a beloved family member to be right at the precipice of life or death. So I got in my car and like I was telling Brother Tim, I prayed my eyes out. And I'm going to tell you something. Prayer works. This man is still here now. They're not quite sure what's wrong with him, what's going on. They have some ideas. But through the physicians, through the doctors, through the nurses, the attendees that are there, they made some decisions that perhaps has possibly saved his life. And I know that it's from God, but I prayed and I prayed and I prayed hard. I mean, the tears were just streaming down. But I'm here to tell you, there was that peace that surpasses all understanding that came by the time I got home, and I had to share the news with my daughter. So if you think for 1 minute that grace is just something we read about or that Brother Tim talks about Sunday morning, it's real. It's as real as me sitting here right now. So first song we want to do is Amazing Grace. And bear with me as I get my microphones going here.
Grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've boundless days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but
Thank you. Thank you. This next song we want to do is a song that's been very near and dear to me. It was written by a man by the name of Paul Baloche several years ago, and he was contemplating the letter of Paul to the Ephesians. And right off the bat, Paul talks about how he learned of the folks in Ephesians, how their love for God, their prayers for the saints, and it was just an encouragement to the Ephesians to basically say, listen and pray and open the eyes of your heart so that your ears can be open to the prayers and the blessings that God has in store for you. So when he heard this, there was just the melody. And I mean, being from Nashville, you can be in a Kroger's, you can be anywhere. You hear something, and then you hear a melody, and things just start happening from that point. God is an inspiration. His word is an inspiration. You have no idea what it is that could happen at any point during the day. And there's a scripture that comes to mind, and either he's preparing you for something, or that word is ministering to you. I'm sure every person in here has 3 or 4 or 5 different scriptures that they could quote that's just a sense of peace to them. So in this particular case, there's a song that I really like called Open the Eyes of My Heart. I hope you guys like it too. Feel free to sing along if you know it. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Oh yes, Lord, I do. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy.
You are.
I sing, holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy. I cry, holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. One more time. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. One more time. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. want to see you. I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to see you.